very much. I'll give you a little idea what you guys are interested in learning about. Now, I do have a thought question. There's not necessarily a right or a wrong, but there's a big old holiday coming up this month that everyone likes to celebrate, Halloween. And considering and pertaining to the topic, I'd like us to discuss this question a little bit in detail next week. Like I said, there's no right answer, no wrong answer, but what do you think? When we look at Halloween, what is Halloween promoted as? Witches, warlocks, but when we get down to it, it's supposed to be, what, one of the most powerful days for witches and warlocks, and one of the most, probably the day of the year when spiritual wickedness is at its most influence, at its most, if we want to say, is moving about, going about, is supposedly at its most powerful. Why is that? Not for the Christians. Christians, when it came down to the Catholics, they celebrated All Saints' Day, where they commemorated their dead. And if you put it in religious that way, then the Satanists came along and took October 31st. And I shouldn't say Satanists, but all the pagans would celebrate that day. They would do their sacrifices and rituals. There's other things that would go on. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know what the pastor has in mind for Tuesdays, and he's teaching this. I know he's done that in the past. But I just want us to look at this thought. If that is the case, why does it seem like the devil and the demons are more active on that day than any other day of the year? And you don't have to answer it now. Just take this week and think about it. And there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. If you're looking for scripture, I don't think you're really going to find any that's right out there saying this is why. But considering everything we've learned, everything we've studied, why do you think that October 31st is the day when demons are more active than any other day throughout the year? Just something to think about throughout the week. Our memory verse for this week is going to be found in Leviticus chapter 19, Leviticus 19 and verse 31. Leviticus 19:31. Leviticus 19:31. If you have it, just go ahead and read it.
Regard them not that have familiar spirits, neither seek after the wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God.
Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Today we're going to be talking about two different things, and we're going to start off in the book of Jude and 2 Peter. If someone would like to find Jude 6, and someone else find 2 Peter 2:4. Jude 6 and 2 Peter 2:4.
The angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains of darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
And what about 2 Peter 2:4?
For if God spared not the angels of sin, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment.
We're going to begin today talking about those angels that are kept in everlasting chains. Now, as we look at this passage, we find that they are kept in chains when we have to, but we need more insight than Jude provides for us, so we have to go back to the book of 2 Peter. Let me just read Jude for the sake of it. Jude 6 reads once again, "And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day." Jude does provide the information we need. What's that last phrase that he states that they will be kept in everlasting chains till? The judgment of the great day. So we must find, as we look at this passage here, we find angels that are kept in what? Chains. Until a certain time. Jude refers to it as that great day, as the great day. The great day throughout Scripture is very specific and refers to one thing. If someone would please find Zephaniah 1:14. Zephaniah 1:14. Someone else, Revelation 6:17. Revelation 6:17. And someone else, Revelation 16:14. Revelation 16:14. So Zephaniah 1:14, Revelation 6:17, and Revelation 16:14. Does anyone have Zephaniah 1:14?
The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hastily great. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry, there is no grace.
What about Revelation 6:17?
For the great day of the God to come, and who shall be able to stand?
What about Revelation 16:14?
For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, that go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle for that great day of God Almighty.
There's a phrase found in all three of these verses that's also found in Jude verse 6. Did you pick it out? The great day. The great day. So what is this great day that Zephaniah is speaking of? The day of the Lord. But you got to be more specific. What is the day of the Lord? Just think about the book of Revelation. What's going on in the book of Revelation throughout the whole book for the most part from about chapter 6 on? But what do we call that period? The tribulation period. So we find in the book of Jude, verse 6, 2 Peter 2:4, which are referring to the same thing, they mention angels that are kept in chains. Jude goes on and expounds upon that and tells us the period of time for which they are to be kept in these great chains, in these everlasting chains. And he declares that it's the great day. As we look at Zephaniah, Revelation 6, and Revelation 16, we discover that the great day is what period in time? The tribulation period. Those 7 years when the devil will be loosed to roam the earth. And I shouldn't say be loosed to roam the earth, but when the church will be already taken out, the Antichrist will be brought in the scene in the middle, and Israel itself will be judged for her sins of idolatry. But the whole earth will be punished as a result of it. Now, as we look at this, what are these angels that are kept in chains? Does Revelation give us any insight to any angels at all kept in chains? And I'm not expecting an answer. But it's just some thought process. As we're going, we know that it mentions demons in the bottom of the pit. So not all angels are kept in chains. I mean, some people look at this passage and say, oh, when the angels fell, they are all kept in chains. No, that is not the case. If someone would please read Revelation chapter 9, Revelation 9, verses 1 through 11. Revelation 9, verses 1 through 11.
And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him the given the key of the furnace pit. And he opened the furnace pit, and there arose smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and a sun, and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth and power. And they would tell mankind that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any grass, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented by the mind. And their torment was as the torment of a dog when he practiced a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall be sad to die, and death shall flee from them. And the sheep of the locusts were like unto horses, prepared unto battle, and on their edge were as it were bound by gold, and their faces were as the faces of men, and they had the hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions, and they had breastplates, and it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings made horses. Wings was as the sound of a chariot of many horses running to battle, and they had tails like unto corpus, and there were chains in their tails, and their power was to hurt men flying on, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is
Bad.
Abaddon. But in the Greek tongue, as the name of Apollyon.
So where are these demons coming from? The bottomless pit. So as we look at this passage and compare it to Jude and 2 Peter, are all demons kept in chains? No, some of them were stored in the bottomless pit. As we look at the way that the pit was opened, it is not one of releasing chains, but there was one that was given a key to go down and open the pit, as if the pit itself was sealed. As we go farther, if someone else would like to read 1 Peter 5:8. 1 Peter 5:8.
Be sober, be diligent, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
So our adversary, the devil, is walking about in chains confined to an area. No, he's walking about seeking whom he may devour. Not all angels are kept in everlasting chains, but there are a few. Whatever their crime was during the rebellion, it was so hideous